It's a new year, and many of us have made New Year's resolutions. Well, financial resolutions are among the most popular this year.
Financial advisor and president of SGL Financial, Steve Lewit, is joining us now to talk about getting financially fit in the new year. Thanks for being with us.
Great to be here. Happy New Year.
Already, where do you start, Steve? It's probably a little like dieting or not drinking anymore. How do you start getting financially fit in the new year?
Well, start the diet and stop the drinking is a good start. Yeah, financially, look, Fidelity does a resolution study every year, and they're saying the two places that people are starting this year is how do I save more money and how do I get myself out of debt? And those are two places really to begin. So if a goal of yours is to get yourself out of debt, it's a great goal because the interest rates on credit cards, bank rate reports that over 20%. And they don't see interest rates coming down very much next year. So it's a very onerous tax. And a great way to do that is set a goal of I'm going to pay off all my debt this year. And I like using what's called the snowball method, apropos to winter, of course. And that's a matter of paying off your smallest debts first. Don't tackle the big ones, tackle the small ones and get that feeling of success. And then you chip away at the bigger ones and bigger ones. And believe it or not, by the end of the year, if you do that consistently, a lot of your debt will be gone. And as far as savings, if that's a goal for you, well, yeah, try to develop some systematic way of saving in your 401k. Make sure you build an emergency fund first, which we recommend 3 to 6 months of your expenses. But the more systematic you can make it, moving money from your checking to your savings account, even if it's a little bit of money, is get into that savings habit. It's really the only way I found to increase your savings over and above what you did last year.
Steve, you talk about that emergency fund. When you're talking about planning a budget, I know a lot of people look at their expenses, but you forget about the unforeseen. I mean, my mom just called me this morning and said, my stove just went out and now that's $1,000 that I didn't know I'd have to spend. How do you prioritize?
Yeah, so first thing is to track your expenses, the regular expenses. I like what Ben Franklin has to say. He says, track your expenses because even small leaks can sink a big ship. So that's the first thing. And then it's a matter of, okay, what do I have? What do I do for emergencies? And what kind of an emergency can I have? And can I plan some of these? I need a new roof, or I need I need to upgrade my bathroom, or we need to take a special trip somewhere. The better you can imagine what these big expenses are going to be, put them in your budget, and then save systematically to them, is the better off you're going to be. What you don't want to happen is all of a sudden you turn around and say, oh, I need 40 grand for a car. And where am I going to get that money from? And I had no idea that I was going to need that.
And that's that emergency fund. How much should that be as a percentage of your annual income?
Different people have different amounts. We like 3 to 6 months of expenses. Some people say it should be a year. And the thinking behind that is, look, if you're laid off or if you lose your job or you're ill, at least have a year that you know that you can afford to live that year and try and fix whatever hurdle that you're facing. But 3 to 6 months we find works pretty well most of the time.
And that's going to require making some cuts, and perhaps it's your morning coffee or something out. Make it at home. All right, Steve Lewit, thank you so much. Some really good advice.